welcome back. If you watched the last video, you'll remember that I was a bit crestfallen because the Flue parts had arrived and they'd sent the wrong one. I'd got this, which is a 15-degree bend, whereas I actually needed this, which is a 15-degree bend with a door in. And as you can see, it's been sorted out. A absolutely lovely woman called Lorianne, who's one of the sales people at Midtherm, went way and above and beyond. When I basically I'd seen, I saw her on name on the email. I phoned her up and she was really helpful. I explained the issue because you can see there's about 20 centimeters of height difference, and without extra height, I said I would have been pretty much struggling to get the Flue system to work. And also this, you see, there's the door here, so you can actually access the bottom of it to clean the Flue out easily, whereas this one doesn't have it. Anyway, said she was really nice and said they don't make these anymore, but she went and had a fork around in the big warehouse, and there happened to be one lying in stock. It's actually a different colour. It's gloss black rather than matte black. It's not that much different, and anyway, I've actually bought some high temperature matte paint, so I can give this a spray anyway if I'm really feeling up to it. So successful round, very happy with that. Said you'll never see this, Lorianne, but thank you very much. Well, I was going to do things in slightly different order, but I've just looked at the forecast and we basically have 2 dry days before a long period of rain, so I think I should get on with getting a hole in the roof. So thanks to Dave, he's helped me take the panel down and back to where we are, and he's also helped me hold the Flue up, so I've marked more or less where it is. So a bit more measuring on that, and then the old pilot hole will be drilled to see where I poke out on the roof. I mean, I think I know where it should be, but let's see. So that's the edge of the skylight, and there it is. And as you can see, it's more than 5 centimeters away from the edge of the collar, so we should be good to start drilling. Well, I haven't been looking forward to this, but let's see how this goes. Slight issue in that because of this, I can't go any further than this from this pilot hole, but it's not the end of the world. I can just drill another pilot hole. However, I have to say, it's the actual cutting of the circle is easier than I thought, and makes me think that I probably shouldn't have spent that time and money with the big circle cutters for the vents. But hey ho. Other than my boo-boo with not thinking ahead about that was actually a lot less bad than I thought. Yeah, it's not a perfect circle, but I did it a bit bigger. And if you wonder why I just disappeared towards the end, just about to do it, I thought, hang on, this is quite big and will be heavy, and it's about to drop down. And of course underneath is the stove, so I ran out and put a little crash pad in a used cardboard box underneath, which it did hit, so I'm glad I did. So I was a bit need to file up where I've did the pilot holes, but hopefully this will be okay. So the Flue collar is in 2 parts, so which the boat builds. So I mean, I can see this point. So if you put one in the middle, it's at a different angle than this one. So it's going to need to be welded, and this is something I've never done, and I'm certainly not. I mean, I'd like to try the skill, but something I'm not going to try it out on this one as a first go. So Rachel has kindly offered to help me because she knows welding like the back of her hand. Well, that was so very lovely of Rachel. I can't thank her enough. Not only it was done on demand, as it were, and we've got thanks to us sort of doing it on the deck. Hopefully, it's as straight as ever. It's impossible to get a straight. I mean, what is the datum like? Anyway, so it looks okay to me, and she's done an absolutely fantastic job, which belies her years and years of experience. So that is excellent. However, it's a long way to go to any chimney action yet. So the next thing I need to do is work out the how the chimney goes through this, which is going to involve my own hacking up at the moment as well. So basically, the double wall flue, the outside diameter of that is almost to the millimetre is the same as that, because the reason I got these flues was Coldcraft, who make the boat builders who made this collar, use their flues, so they size them. Now, I was told a way that they put the flues in, and they just terminate at the bottom and have this as a single flue. But because of all the solar cells that are going to be around, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, this is an extension piece I bought, and as you can see, there isn't a bottom on it, and it's meant to slide up and down over a full piece of flue. But my idea is, what I'm going to do is hack off some of just the outer bit. I'm not going to touch the inner flue, which is where the actual smoke goes, before everybody starts shrieking about me being dangerous. Cut that off, and then that will hopefully slide on there. I'll push the stuffing back into it, and so it will be a continuation of the double wall through the boat. That is the idea anyway. Unlike the other holes that I've been doing recently, I am going to put a coat of Eutamastic on this. So as it is raw metal, I'm just cleaning it up so it's a bit shinier before I paint it. Even with a brand new bit, the drilled holes take far longer than the big hole to drill the jigsaw, which is somehow perverse and quite frustrating. Well, so much for the weather forecast. As you might just be able to make out, it's actually snowing quite heavily here, which is not exactly what I want with a big hole in my roof. Well, thank goodness I managed to get all this done in one day. I didn't get my second day of nice weather. In fact, it's been snowing heavily for 2 days now, which is a bit frustrating because it'd be great to have a stove in place, but while this is like this, I can't really get up on the roof and do much more. So this is the hack I was on about. I've taken the outside of the stove out, as you can see, and then that will go. That goes over there like that. Meanwhile, the inner, undisturbed, untouched with flue, goes down into the joint as it should, and then when I actually go to put it, but this is the bit I cut off, and that will cover that bit, and of course I will restuff the insulation back into there before anything is finalised. The weather continues. I'm going to work on the roof. I think this is the first time that I've ever not been thrilled to see snow. Morning. Well, I'm working on the stove still, and the thing that I need to do before, well, not the, but I need one part I've got to do before anything's permanent is the stove. Very wisely, for the regulations, the boat safety scheme has to be bolted down. Again, just like the calorifier, if it comes to a sudden stop, you don't want your stove flying to the bow. Anyway, I tried. Yesterday I was thinking, oh, this is all going so well, and I followed the manufacturer's instructions to the letter, but I've made an absolute hash of it. So basically, I tried to do it, and it was all about measuring. You were supposed to measure the centre, then measure out, and it made a complete hash of it. Not only that, because of this tile and the stove is so heavy that I've gouged the slate where I was trying to get this thing in. Anyway, this morning I've woken up and I'm doing what I should have done in the first place, which is I'm making a wooden template. So as you can see, these fit on where the bolts are, and then I'll put that down and re-drill the holes. If there are the existing ones, they're under the stove, thank goodness, and I guess I'll just fill them with grout or something. But hey. Happily the snow stopped and there's a thaw, which is a good job, because I really wanted to do this outside because this dust gets everywhere, and I'm sure some calcium silicate isn't that good for you. That's the second side of the stove surround with the calcium silicate. Well, the dry weather's continued overnight, which is great because I need to cut some tiles. However, it's forecast snow in a couple of hours, so I need to get a wiggle on. And also, I need to thank Rachel yet again for lending me the tile cutter, so thank you. Right, it's attempt 2 at the bolting down. So what I've done is I originally bought these anchor bolts to do it, but I realised that just construction of the floor it's not going to work. And also the actual thing it needs to prevent isn't a pulling force; it's actually a shearing force. So what I did is I took 4 of those apart. I cut off the ends with the angle grinder. And now what I'm going to do is just like a chemical anchor. I've got some epoxy resin, and I'm going to epoxy them in the hole. And before the epoxy sets, it's a standard one. I'll put the stove on, and then if it needs any wiggling to get it in, hopefully that will help. I won't bolt it down until it's fully set, but that is the plan. Well, the trim rings look slightly better after I've given them a coat of paint, and now the part's going to have its deglossing treatment. Well, I'm lying down here on the floor for 2 reasons. One is that I need to get the plumbing done, and 2, also I kind of need to lie down because I've just come back from having a huge, enormous breakfast at a local pub with some of the other people in the boatyard. This thing called Mega Breakfast, it is literally 3,000 calories because they have to put the calorie counts on the menus these days. And I don't think I've ever managed it. I managed to eat it all apart from 2 of the sausages, and I had 5 pieces of toast on top of that. So that's my that's lunches. That's the rest of the food for the day. I don't think I'll be eating anything else. Anyway, as you can imagine, I'm feeling quite soporific and really want to just lie down. However, not as much as I want to get this damn stove finished. And it's the last bit is by far the most difficult, complex bit because it's all and now it's all through partitions, etc. See what I mean about whoops. There's my spray bottle gone. So a test fell at the last 1 leak. On the first joint I did, but perversely not the you mentioned earlier in the video that I thought I'd done a bad joint. It's not, it's the one right at the front, and it's going to be a right bugger to undo that one, I have to say. Oh well. This entire section of pipe has to be removed, alas. You can see what a crappy joint that was. I'm guessing I didn't put enough flux on it. I'm glad I've got it out anyway. Right, well, fingers crossed, I hope that's the leak dealt with. That one's done, and one of the radiators was dripping, but that was a much easier thing because it just tightened up. So, ready now to actually fill with antifreeze solution, which you're meant to use 50% antifreeze, 50% water, but I made a bit of a mistake, and I thought I'd bought enough for the boat, you know, the engine and this, but it seems I've actually bought ready diluted antifreeze. So the downside is I'll have to buy some more, but on the upside is I don't have to faff around mixing this, and I can just tip it in. Stuffing going back in. I was very tempted to break my own rule about no major soaring in the boat, but given that it's there and given that it's a nice day, I decided to very gingerly drag the lining piece outside. However, it's not going any further, so the actual soaring operation is going to be a bit Laurel and Hardy-esque. And the moment that the world has been waiting for, as white smoke finally comes out of the chimney. Well, that's been quite a journey. This video's spanned just over a week and a half and apart from my breakfast blowout, that's been constant work. But here we are, and I have to say that feels like a nice milestone. And yeah, it's lovely. And the trim plates, you know, as long as you don't look at it too closely, has come out relatively okay. And you can't. Yeah, actually, there's two. You can't really see them in this light, but I have two little trim plates, which I'm very pleased with. Anyway, after a good tidy up, it will be on to the next task, whatever that might be. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Cheers. P.S. I'm thrilled to find that the radiators are starting to get warm as well, because while gravity is gravity is fundamental, a gravity system can be quite temperamental. So hopefully this is okay.